to Marty Wendell and his tour band. So Marty's not here, he's going to be here in May. But what we're going to do is we're going to bring up Mark and Mike, because they deserve medals as well. They were here. Here they come.
Our better representative.
That's that over here. On the pulpit.
So they're in the Marty Wendell band. He does get one.
Step here if you want to say something.
So Marty's not very creative. He's a very good singer-songwriter, but he's not very creative. He calls his band his tour band. So that's about the worst name I've ever heard.
The tour.
Marty Wendell and his tour band. So this is for Marty, not for his creative name of a band, but for being Johnny Cash's opening act many times, as well as many of the other great artists over the years in country music. This is for Marty. So up next we have an award. It's called the Time Honored Poetry Award. And that can only go to one person, and that person is Joe Krausman. So what do you suppose time honored means, Joe?
I'm ancient. That means he didn't actually go over his time allotted.
Oh. You want to say anything, Joe?
Congratulations, kiss. Can I get a kiss? There you go.
Well, I'm very, very honored, and thank you very much. You guys are doing a great job, and I think I've been overly honored, but I may as well take it after all. I can sell it. Well, thank you very much, and I really appreciate the honor. Thanks a lot.
So we talked about a poet earlier doing Tai Chi as part of her presentation at Dorn Space. So that particular poet, even though this particular term is way overused, but she deserves it. The Poetry in Motion Award. Here she is, Therese Broderick. She was literally poetry in motion.
The only thing I want to mention is that I drove Joe here from Albany, and just so you all know, he had a major medical challenge the past couple days, but he still wanted to be here.
So Gloversville has a Pulitzer Prize winner, Richard Russo, which I'm sure if you're from this area, you probably have heard of him. So he's really the biggest name to come out of Gloversville in many years. And we're fortunate that we were able to meet him last November. So that was a big thrill. And we talked about Harvey Havel having tight connections with Kennedy out in Albany, William Kennedy. So it only makes sense that we give out the prelude to the Pulitzer Award to Harvey Havel.
You want to say something?
It's great to be up here in front of all these talented people, musicians, poets, singer-songwriters. Wonderful. I got to say something about this award, though, and I don't mean to go on too long, but I thought this was going to be a service award, and I think that's why they're giving me this Pulitzer Prize Award or something. It's actually a service award. That's what Brian meant by it, I think. And winning a service award like this, which is what it is kind of like winning the Miss Congeniality Award for a beauty pageant, you know? You know what I mean? There's always this ugly, talentless one, you know, kind of, you know, he's friendly and sort of, you know, bounces around and smiles, you know, and all that stuff. And, you know, I'm just really proud, Brian. I think we all are, you know. But a service award is fantastic. I'm really very happy. Last time I was up here, it was, you know, it was like being in the Fresh Air Fund all over again, Brian. It was just, you know, I rarely get out, you know. And last time I'm up here, you know, he had me plunge the toilets, you know, stuff like that, mop up, you know.
We start playing the music sound.
You know, stuff like that. And, you know, I'm very happy. Okay, no, but in all seriousness, Brian deserves this award more than I do. We both worked on a very important reading down in Albany. He got all the poets. I don't know that many poets, but he got all the poets. He scheduled them. Yeah, well, you know, I know the guy, so, you know. But and he drove all the way down from Gloversville every single time. It'd be like a blizzard out, and Brian would be there. So, Brian, I don't mean to go on too long. Thank you. I share this award with you. Thank you.
So thank you for not kissing me, Harvey. This is Harvey's latest book. It's called The Wild Gypsy of Arbor Hill, a novella. So look into that. He's really a great writer, and he has really interesting history on his side. He's been through a lot. He's done a lot, so we're glad to have him at Dorn Stars. So going from that to this really unusual category called Most Demented Song Award. And that can only go to one person. He was the local historian for Fulton County. Now he's basically a guy who sits around the house and writes a lot of weird stuff and sings strange songs about Fort Plain and other local communities. So here he is, Most Demented Song Award, Pete Betts.
Second step. Face the audience. Take your hat off. Give me a kiss. You want to say something? Go right ahead.
I'm looking at this tooth, I thought it was my age. No. This is really lovely. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pete.
I've had a great week this week already. I got a little thing in the mail from the hardware store that said everything in the store 20% off. So I bought the store. Then I marked it up 20% and sold it. Thank you very much.
So we have, I don't know if anybody has noticed, but we have a mascot at Dorn Stars. And this for many, many years being the glove capital of the United States, and this being the year of the glove by the local museum and historian society, they've announced this year as the year of the glove. So we've come out with a mascot, and we call him Lefty the Glove. So his picture's up here on the wall. He happens to be one of our sponsors, and somehow he got himself an award named after him. It's called the Lefty the Glove Award, and that goes to a particular person who's in Gloversville, who does a tremendous amount of work for Gloversville, and we appreciate her being a sponsor here at Dorn Stars, as well as a contributor to many of our events, including our spoken word events. So here she is, Karen Pepper. Every so often, we'll get somebody in here from the city of Gloversville, and they'll look at our sponsors, and they see Karen's name up there, and they go, "Oh, Karen Pepper's a sponsor." We're like, "Yes, she is." Would you like to say something, Karen?
Come on.
You deserve it.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate your
Good to see
tremendous-
everybody here today, too.
All right.
Thank you, Karen. So Karen is dedicated to the arts and everything else that's going on in Gloversville. She's at the Glove Theater helping to clean up the Glove Theater so they can get rolling again. Tremendous facility over there. Tremendous history. So we're going to give out one more award before we go back to the music. And that is the Dedication to Local Arts Award. And that goes to Darcy Etkin, who has also been a tremendous help to us here at Dorn Stars.
It's wonderful, like my mom said, to see so many people here, and it's great to be part of the audience because the music and the poetry has been fantastic so far. I'm sure it's going to be good in the rest of the day. Thank you so much.
So we're going to start with the music next, and we got a guy named Drew Jacobs. I mentioned how Pete Betts is very demented. Well, Drew has been on a show in the past called the Dr. Demento Show. It's a radio syndicated show for many years, nationally syndicated. So he's an interesting guy. I don't know if he's as demented as Pete. I don't think anybody is. But he's a lot of fun, so it's great to have him here. Here he is, Drew Jacobs.